Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. I'm John Tisha, this is Chris Chapo, and joining us today is Pablo, host of Sidless.
How's it going, folks?
He has a podcast right now, and he also has a YouTube. You can check that out. We will add those links in a little bit later. Let me see if I can fix this just a little bit. This one right in front of you, yeah. Okay, this is a little off, sir. We need to. I'm all the way on the end. You guys need to move over. Yeah, right there. Better?
Yep.
Better. Okay, yay! All right, so this is Let's Talk About It. This is episode 3. We're talking about pretty much everything that's going on right now, how we feel about it, the different perspectives, processes, understanding of the breakdown of those things, period. And then some positive, encouraging things as well within it. I have like my own ideas or whatever about the spiritual aspect of it and believers and that. So we'll dive into all of that. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We'll see them. We'll answer them. Please like this video, share this video. If you haven't already subscribed and got the notifications or followed, please do that. So that more people can join in the conversation. You don't have to believe as we believe or have the same perspective to join this conversation. We welcome everyone. And so here we go.
All right. So we got a couple things we're gonna talk about. Pretty much just everything that's been going on the last week.
Here's
So
I
know, right?
Every time.
All right. Hit him with the knife hand. Hey,
I'm right here.
because you never know where this thing's gonna go. And it's also never mind. Anyways, so where was it going with this?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yes. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about the last week, but more so right now, before or as we were getting started, we can now see that President-elect Biden is about to address the nation. So
let's be politically correct here. He's not the president-elect yet because the news organizations can't actually call it. But go ahead and continue.
I agree with him, but yeah. So once he gets up and he talks, we'll listen to him mumble and fumble through his speech. People are going crazy over this, but we just want to talk about some of the things that have been going on. What's the first thing that's on your mind?
Okay, I think we all have the same thing on our mind. Is this election legit? Is this a real win? Because if this is a legit win, then we're just going to have to deal with it, all right? If it was a fair election and there's nothing we can say about it, then we're just going to poke fun at Joe Biden for the next 4 years. But if it's not legit, the implications of that are pretty bad. Like if this was a fraudulent election, you know what that means? That means this is. I don't want to jump right into the conspiracy stuff yet, but
let's go back to the joking real quick.
Yeah,
so,
let's do that.
So this is a prime opportunity for the Trump supporters because we're not, at least myself, I'm going to say we're not all Republican because I don't claim a political party, and we could talk about that if it comes up. But for the Trump supporters, this might be a great 4 years to just do, have a little fun. Like I seen all the memes come out, and they were funny with COVID, where Trump was on the COVID little, what do you call it, virus, and it was just his head with all those little hands coming out. Like that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
There was another one I seen that was hilarious. I don't remember what it all entailed, but it was hilarious.
Like,
someone else posted it. Also, that's kind of funny.
Like if you're a Biden supporter, tune in because I know we got some of you. And if you posted a meme or if there was a meme made about Trump or the Orange Man, hey, there was some that legit they were funny. I laughed, and you know what? You guys might get 4 years of that. I mean, so don't. What goes around comes around. So if you're gonna, I think what some people are misunderstanding, like if you're gonna slam the right's gonna slam the left the next 4 years. They're not gonna take it easy. And I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna sit back and watch, speak my mind, and critique everything that's going on. But I know myself I have a few Biden memes I'm waiting to shoot out there.
Yeah, more than a few.
You know, like when he some from the he's in Shimon,
Oh.
Oh,
Shit, I hope he does that right now. We're watching NBC right now because the president-elect is going to address the nation. And I'm going to laugh my ass off if he can't even get through this speech. He probably will. They're going to probably dope him up on whatever they gave him during the debates. But look at his eyeballs. If you watch it, look at his eyeballs. We'll see if they're dilated or
they're
not.
gonna
All right?
dope him over what, like ginseng? What's that shit that's supposed to make you
oh my
feel
gosh.
better or think better?
I don't think it's that, but
Something
Maybe some from his son. A little bit of that, that white stuff. That's probably where he gets his supply.
So
See, we're already starting.
like the son's son, no, like his son, the Hunter. You know,
Yeah.
that Hunter.
oh my god.
Just say anyway. So yeah. So he drove in, and I so like Pablo said right as Biden was driving in to give his speech here, for somebody who was backing to fund the police,
A lot of escorts.
he had a lot of escorts, and I think that's funny. In maybe we can start off with some of the hypocrisies of what's going on. I think if there's one thing that the Democratic Party needs to do to shape up and to get people, it is to bring people together and to have unity within their own political parties. The Democratic Party is divided. You can say whatever you want about the Republican Party, but the one thing I respect and I like about them is loyalty. Now, yes, you have a few people that are straight off, like those guys that do the whole Lincoln Project, and you have some, people that'll, after Trump fires them because, hey, here, some people suck. Trust me, I've been in the federal government, military, and I'm telling you right now, you do, just like anywhere else, you have bad employees. It's not bashing the people who have employed me, but it's like anything else. And people get fired. And when people get fired, they don't like it. And they come back, and in this case, especially in the federal government, and with Trump being the president, you will see people get fired, and the mainstream media will give them a platform and use them. And we, as the people, most of us soak it up and just buy into it because we don't actually do the research. So the hypocrisies. What's the biggest one?
The whole, going back to what I mentioned earlier, I love how for the past 4 years they've been complaining about election interference from a foreign government. And they had a special investigation over it. They almost impeached him over it. Spent the last 4 years slandering the president. And then when this election comes around, all of a sudden there's no proof of voter fraud when they've been saying it for the past 4 years that the last election was illegitimate.
yeah.
So that's a big one right there, how it suddenly flipped when it's in your candidate's favor. But,
Which, of course, they'll switch it and turn it the other way around also.
Yeah.
Towards us for the same, or us, or, I'm sorry,
We'll say Trump
conservative, Trump
supporters.
supporters, they'll turn around the same way. It's always like a slingshot back and forth. Well, so did you.
And I think that's a big mistake, right? Just getting on the Trump support thing it's just letting people know that there are Democratic Trump supporters, there are conservative, there's some liberal, moderate, progressive.
A lot of independents.
A lot of independents. So Trump supporters aren't all Republican. So yeah, if we're going to say we as Trump supporters, we see some, or on our end, they will slam us for it, and they'll slam the president for it. But on the other end, they don't follow. They play by their own rule book. So it's do as I say and not as I do type of playbook. They'll be the first one. They'll claim election fraud in 2016, but then right now, or not even election fraud, they just claim
election interference.
Election interference. But I feel like people have short-term memory loss because it was only like 2 or 3 months ago that they were claiming that there would be election interference, and they were just up and down the media how the Russians were back at it, North Korea was back at it, China was back at it, interference. That's all we heard. And then at the same time, they're pumping out this is going to take a lot longer than it should because of COVID. It's going to take weeks before we get results. Every vote, we got to wait till every vote is counted. Now we're here, and all of a sudden, there's no more interference. Let's not even talk about it. Every vote counted. California's at 66%.
Are we still talking about
Yeah, no,
hypocrisy?
hypocrisy. But then the hypocrisy of it is that they say every vote counted, but when it comes to like California specifically, how are you already going to close out the state with 66%? So he's claiming victory, but they told Trump, you can't claim victory until you for sure 100% know. And if you do, it's going to be bad. Well, the other side doesn't play by the same rules. So that's, to me, that's the newest hypocrisy. There's a lot more.
Also, side note, real quick, so our setup right now is a little last minute, and so the comments are really far.
Oh, you're like squinting.
Yeah, so instead of having to come in like this, I have my phone right here, so I'm trying to go between different screens. So what would make it easier would if you guys could if you go to my page, John Tisha Vigil on Facebook, I shared the link, the YouTube link for the live chat on there. If you could go there to the YouTube chat, it would make it so much easier because then I'll have it right here, and then I can share your comments, and then I would know which ones to kind of look for and share them on the screen. I would appreciate it if you could do that. That way it makes it easier for us to follow your chat, and you can stay in the live chat as well. Period.
Hey, so if
For what?
so YouTube's blanking us out right now. She might have to go to Facebook.
It's blanking us out?
I know it's on Facebook. Hey, so if you're having issues or with YouTube or something, you might have to switch back over to Facebook. I've seen them do this to other people. Well, they'll cut you off of one, but yet Facebook or another. What else was this stream? Not IG or Twitter.
Twitter.
No, not Twitter. IG. But you Twitch? Some of them will let you go. So if you're having issues, just try to jump to another. Another site.
The places to join the chat where because I can't do it on the computer right now, I'd have to do it on my phone. But to have it all condensed into one area where we can reply to you all, and you guys could see our reply. If one of us replies or something and someone's talking, you can go to John Tisha. It's a Facebook business page. It's streaming there. YouTube, if it's working. Otherwise, we want to send them to John Tisha, the Facebook business page. Go there. We're streaming live there. I'm sorry for pushing you everywhere, but if it's not coming, censorship. It's a real thing. So John Tisha, the Facebook business page, go there, join us chatting there, and I'll make sure I switch on here to there so that we can follow the chats and chat.
And before we keep going, Ricky Ramsey, thank you for joining in. We have Felix, Norman, Marcelo, Ricky again. Let's see, Johnny Crumb. Thank you guys for joining in. Tim, what's up, Tim?
Fee, are you watching?
He was.
I don't know. In Texas? Wherever he went, you're out of state.
Where did you go?
He was somewhere. Somebody put him in a suitcase and
get out of California.
He travel size. I know Fox was watching. Lena, what's up, Lena?
I'm gonna grab the link and I'm gonna post it.
And how you doing? All right. So that's a hypocrisy.
I got another one.
Go ahead.
On election night, Joe Biden came out and addressed everybody before President Trump did. He addressed the crowd at 8 or 9 o'clock. Counting was still going on. Trump was up in several swing states. Joe Biden comes out, addresses the nation, gives a very misleading kind of announcement. He doesn't claim victory, but he implies it. Right. He implies victory just by going out and speaking it all. He implies victory. He says we're going to win, but he doesn't say we won. He says we're going to win.
Right.
He goes to bed because he knew this. I'm sorry, but I feel like he knew it was in the bag, which is why he didn't feel bad about making his bedtime. And then when Trump was up at middle of the night, dude's been up for, I don't know, the last 2 weeks, he's been doing 5 rallies a day. Freaking probably doing 14, 16-hour days, getting no sleep. And then he was up late on election night. Then he comes out and addresses the crowd. They turn around and be like, "Oh, Trump's trying to claim the victory." And it's like, well, Joe Biden was out like 3-4 hours before him doing the same thing. So hypocrisy, yeah, like it goes both ways. All right, it goes both ways, and it seems like there's this kind of momentum behind whenever someone picks on Trump, everybody gangs up on him, like, yeah, I can't believe he's doing that, without stopping to look at their candidate. And you're doing the same thing. It's just that you don't have the media initiating the pile-on.
Didn't Joe Biden, and now, because you always got to put out that, I might be wrong, so somebody fact check me, because I don't want YouTube or Facebook to take me down, because we know how they like to be. But wasn't Joe Biden the one? Didn't he say something like, we didn't know, or we got to wait till election day to see how many votes come in to know how much we got to win by?
Something like that.
He said something crazy like that. Somebody had put a post up earlier, and I mean, this is the thing. Like, they've been telling us for months that this is how
Do you
things are
think I
going to
could
run.
Google it and find it?
You probably could. But
I wouldn't even know what to search for.
yeah, right. So my point is, it's just funny how
Can you send me a link?
if it was the other way around, and that's how we got to look at it. And I'm not here to tell you. I'm not trying to pull you out of your political party. But what I want people to do is to stop where you're at, and actually do your homework and go watch these videos, or not even videos. Watch the news when they're actually broadcasting these individuals live. Watch the whole thing, because I often see people. I see people too often go, "Well, I'm not going to watch it," or "I'm not going to hear you out," or they'll give their opinion, but then they'll run away from the conversation. Say, "Okay, but I'm not. I don't want to talk about it." No, that's why we're in the situation we're in. That's why these guys, the Democratic side, is able to be the hypocrites that they are, because they know that they'll say one thing, most people will hear it, and then you're never going to tune back in to see what they actually do. So they'll say it and they'll do something different. And then when somebody like me or Pablo or John Tisha or many other people out there that are sitting here now watching what's going on, we say, "Hey, but that's not what was actually said." And you'll be like, "Nope, you're just a Trumpster. You're a Trump supporter.
Yeah. You're conspiracy
Conspiracy
theory.
theories,
You
all-
watch Fox News. You're just a bunch of uninformed idiots." Like,
hypocrites." I agree with you what you put out the other day. Fox News. I was like, yeah, if you want a better idea of what's going on, watch Fox. And then election night came around.
yeah,
You did your video and you said what I was thinking, like, what happened to Fox? Like, they just switched up.
well, I kind of been seeing this coming for a while. Ever since the first debates, I had a feeling that Fox was never on our side. They say every court needs a jester. So literally, Fox is mainstream, just like CNN and the rest of them. All right, they all have an agenda, but their agenda doesn't seem legitimate if there's not at least some opposition to it. So they put Fox there to make it seem like there's a little bit of opposition. And then the reason they're always saying, "You guys, all you do is watch Fox," is because on CNN, ABC, NBC, they make fun of Fox daily. All right, they attach Trump supporters, Fox viewers together and be like, "They're both wrong. They're both idiots. We're all on the same page. They're the only news organization saying this, so they're obviously wrong." And now that's how they do it. And Fox proved it to us on election night when they started calling Arizona early. They called California, Oregon, and Portland before even votes. Some of those states didn't even start counting. They already called it for them. And then they still haven't called Georgia for Trump. They still haven't called Alaska for Trump.
Because, and this was I was saying, I was telling her earlier, I was telling her, if we stop, and people just, see, and this is a problem, people don't want to be real with themselves. You want people on the right to be honest with themselves, okay? You want them to hear you out. So I'll give you an example before I jump into California, because that's like my main thing.
Well, not before I share my hypocrisy either.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so here's the hypocrisy. Okay, so here's another big one, right? And I'll bring it back to the votes. So on the left, they'll tell you, or you'll hear a lot of lefties and Democrats and whoever, right? For those of you that say you got to believe in the data and the data and the science, you have to believe in it. It's true. You got to believe in it, right? Then you got the people on the right who. My issue with the Republican Party is nobody wants to take a firm stand and say something back. But my issue is that they don't say nothing back. They just take it, right? But for me, I'm like, hey, if you want to spit out, you got to believe science and data, and you want people to believe all this COVID crap that you're pushing out and whatever. Hey, for all you lefties that want that, well, I'm shaking the camera. Check this out. You start first. You believe in science, the science of biology, male, female, male,
super male.
super male. You believe in it first, and then we'll follow suit because you guys don't even believe in science. I now gender. Okay, if you want to pick your gender when you get older, that's all debatable. Okay, you could do that, but you start believing in real biology, and if you believe in biology and you're going to say and claim that, oh no, we do, then you understand male, female. It's important to know why because we can get different illnesses. I can't get breast cancer, or I could, but it's less likely. But she definitely can't get testicular cancer.
Yeah.
I know
Did
that.
you just say the face?
No, I said I know that.
I
He said,
I zoned off for a
and
second.
I can't
after
get
you said
ovarian
that,
cancer.
And then Nick, come on.
I can't get. I was waiting for him to say something stupid. But I can't get ovarian
Like,
cancer.
wait a
It's
minute.
important for people to know that. And here's the thing: if you accept that and you accept biology, the study of life, then as soon as somebody is pregnant, that is life, and it started. So then it is up to the left to determine is taking that life away right or wrong.
Are we still talking about hypocrisy?
Yeah, the hypocrisy. But my thing is that when you get into it, right, they'll be quick to shoot one thing down, but then there'll be hypocrites and to believe the other thing. That's and what I'm getting to is it expands far beyond science and data. Let's just go to data in California. California opened up. Newsom saying every vote counts, every vote counts, every vote counts. It's not over until every vote counts, but yet 0%. We called it for Biden. We're still at 66%. We're going more red as the days progress. Why do we call it? Hypocrisy.
You know why. You know why they call it.
Well, the one that I'm seeing the most that I think bothers me is how believers use their faith and their prayers and their blessings for other people or whatnot, but they reserve it only for what they believe in or what they think is right or what they think the Lord is doing or moving or whatever. And I'm sure people will switch it around and say, well, conservatives do that too. And then that's my point. Like, I find it very hypocritical that believers are constantly saying, oh, bless you for voting for Biden or bless you for voting for Trump or whatever, but not sending blessings to the other people when that's the whole point of brothers and sisters in Christ, of believing Christ and following the Bible and having those views. And I find it very troubling and sad that when the two most important commandments are to love God with everything that you have, and then to love your neighbor as you love yourself, I find it very disheartening that so many people are attacking each other because of who they're standing for or voting for or whatever, and holding back blessings, holding back prayers for other people because of that, but letting those curses fly left and right and separating, dividing, and calling names when really, at the end of the day, you should still love that person. And the Bible says to hate the sin, but love the sinner. So whether you think it's a sin or not for them to believe that at the end of the day, it's love that person regardless. Like, does it make everything that they're doing right in your eyes? Maybe not, but that's besides the point. The point is to love them through it anyways. And I find that the most hypocritical thing that I'm seeing right now is in believers and then praying and saying, God, let God's will be done or let it happen or God please or whatever. But it's really only based on, hi family, based on what they want the Lord to do versus letting go and having that faith and trusting God to make the choice or whatever plan that is, and accepting that. Because that's what real faith is to trust God that no matter what happens, you're still going to trust him in the process of whatever that is and accept that and love everyone as you go. So that's my biggest thing right now As far as hypocrisy goes, it's in the church, it's in the people, it's in the believers, and it bothers me.
I think another one for me is how,
I'm not seeing them.
right. Oh well, we'll keep rolling with it.
I just can't see.
I think another one for me is how there's a conception that, or misconception, there's a misperception of Trump supporters being racist and they all got to be white and all this other crazy stuff, and how they are violent and they're attacking people. But it's the left, their people tend to follow their Democratic leadership. Their leadership is the same people they're telling these people to be, we're the most tolerant.
I'm trying to stay saved. I know.
They're the most tolerant. They don't want violence. They want equality. They want all this stuff. But yet they're the ones telling their people to keep doing what they're doing. Go out there and fight for your rights. And pushing the pushing them to. And they can say they're not pushing them to riot, but they are. They're inciting the riots, saying that they're not. And then their people are doing the same thing. They'll be the first ones to tell you that they're, they want to end racism. They want to, equality, and they don't want violence and all this stuff. But yet, we, the Trump supporters, because again, we're not all Republicans, we're willing to meet in the middle to have the conversation. They don't want to meet in the middle. They want you just to believe what they believe, and that's it.
Oh, it loaded finally.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
So throttle at first.
All right, cool. So, what else did you have on your mind? 'Cause I know you have.
Crap.
You wanna join?
Are you just,
No, we just started.
no, we're just bullshitting. We
Um,
were waiting to see this because I wanted to see
Yeah.
how many times he was going to fumble and stumble and.
we should take a shot every time he says, "Come on, man."
Oh my
Come on,
gosh.
man.
You know
Come
what?
on,
I
man.
think
Come
that he's
on, man.
refraining for it though, because the last times that was part of the drinking games when people were watch parties, he wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
He would say "come on," but he would never say that the whole phrase "come on, man."
Come on.
Yeah.
Or malarkey. Every time he says one of those. That's another one.
Or slurs. That's like the.
Yeah, every time he
the main
slurs,
one.
we're gonna take a drink.
If you're really trying to get slapped,
I
that
would
would be
die.
like the main
I would
one.
die laughing if he came up and be like, you see, me and Kamala running for the U.S. Senate.
I think also one of my
Vermont.
biggest questions is though, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but President-elect Biden is going to address the nation, but what happens after the whole process is done, after the investigations are done, after the recount is done? What happens then when he's not actually the president? And I'm not saying that that's what is going to happen or whatever. I'm saying, but what if that's what happens?
That's what happens.
What happens after this address? Like,
They told us for months, and this is what I can understand. And now I know because you put this out. We've had this conversation as a family. When you're growing up as a person of color, right, Hispanic, Latino, right, you tend to be Democrat. But then for some of us, we join the military and things happen, and our eyes kind of get opened up.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing, and so what you're saying is, they've been saying this for months. That telling you that
After this.
this is how things are going to go. And we were talking about this earlier. Like Candace Owen even put up like what happened. When they pull the votes back and they do the recounting, and the numbers come back and they actually show. Let's not even go there. Let me stop with this. What if the court says, "Hey, no, it's 1 day to vote, not a week"? He wins right there. But if they recount and he
you want
wins,
a choice so bad.
if he recounts and he wins, and they're already doing all this
Yeah,
stuff,
he just wants
He's
to be
the
up.
guy in the
He wants to be up, Kevin. You got all pretty
people don't understand. Like, it's an emotional ride. They put
Don't
you
embarrass
up. The
us.
Democrats have put their
guys,
the Democrats have put their party in their constituents and their people on this emotional ride. And then what happens when it's all a lie? Those people are going to lose their mind more than the Trump
That's a good
supporters.
question.
More than the Trump supporters are.
Start here.
So,
All right, Grace asked, so can you guys explain the votes that went from red to blue overnight? I understand what happened, but please let others know.
I know what she's talking about.
Wisconsin or Michigan?
You take this.
There's a couple states. There
Yeah.
was
They all use
I
the
know.
same system?
Well, some of them. So in Wisconsin and Michigan on election night, Trump was actually leading in the polls, and he was actually pretty comfortable leading a lot of them. Of course, you didn't see it on like CNN and Fox, but a lot of the independent guys, the ones that are giving like honest coverage, they were projecting that Trump was going to win Michigan, he was going to win Wisconsin, he was going to win Pennsylvania, he was going to win North Carolina. He was projected to win those. But overnight, I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, there was about 130,000 mail-in ballots that were just found in the middle of the night, and they were 100%, not like most of them, not like 90% were for Biden,
Yeah,
10%.
because
It was
214 stayed there the whole time.
100% were Joe Biden, and it was in the middle of the night when no one was there to verify it, and they all were. That's a statistical impossibility. It's not that it's improbable. It's impossible to have that many votes and have them be 100% for Joe Biden. And in the morning, when we woke up on Wednesday, Michigan and Wisconsin were in Biden's column. And then the same thing happened with Georgia and Pennsylvania over the last couple of days. So it just looks fishy. It just looks bad.
This
Like,
goes back to the point where they said, Hillary Clinton said he's not going to concede. He said we're not going to know how much we're going to win, or until we know how. We're not going to win now. How we're going to win until we know how many votes come in. All the crazy shit that they put out. The thing is that they are prolonging this because they know that the longer it goes, the more that they're going to be able to soak in for him. I mean, and then maybe we could jump into the next thing with a lot of the fraudulent or the failures of certain counties and states on how they're tallying up the votes. But they knew this was going to happen. They told us it was going to happen. And as the week goes on, you've slowly watched little by little. Trump's numbers are staying consistent. They are not moving at all.
They haven't moved for like 4 days.
Yeah.
He's been at
But
214, 2
Biden's
something
has
the whole time.
slowly went up.
Yeah.
I understand if you're a Biden supporter, you're probably happy. That's great. But when are you going to be real with yourself and say that, hey, look, I think we're cheating?
Well, there actually have been some people come out posting videos.
There's a plug right next to the.
See, this is the whole thing with this whole thing that makes it difficult to get a good grip on what's going on is the censorship. All right, it's been going on for months. When we say censorship, it's they're labeling tweets, they're labeling Facebook videos, they're cutting off streams. Like on election day, they were cutting off streams for people watching the election.
Or manager, you could join.
That weren't watching ABC, CNN, all the main ones. Was it Louder with Crowder? That's a popular one.
Yeah,
I was watching election night.
Yeah.
They cut the feed. They had 500,000 people watching it.
Mm-hmm.
They cut the feed. I didn't log off. I ended up leaving it because I was at work. And when I came back, he was back on, and he was about like 90,000 people logged back on. So it's little things like that they can get away with. They don't outright censor them. They can be streaming. They can cut the feed, and then when everybody just gets too frustrated, they log off when they stop watching.
Yeah.
And no matter how many apologies YouTube gives to these people, it's gone. It never comes back. Those viewers are gone. The content's gone. You just can't get it back.
And there's been studies where like they've blocked people's videos. So I was watching one the other day, and their response from Twitter, I believe it was Twitter, said, "Well, you can go ahead and repost it because yes, you're right, it's not false." But you have to delete that one because we can't unflag it and repost it. And the guy was like, "Yeah, but if I do that, I'm never going to get the same numbers back."
Yeah.
And it's important because that people need to see that.
And if it was alive, you're not going to get the same content. You're not going to get the same experience.
Yeah.
The same
So they get around the
expressions.
censorship.
Right.
Well, it's like right now, like I was telling you the other day, for some reason on my Facebook, it will not let me post publicly. Every time I make a post, I have to go in and manually change it from some reason. It keeps wanting to send it just to her or to me only.
There's that like shadow
banning.
Shadow banning. So you could post it, but they're not going to show it to everybody.
So then I have to go in and manual it right before I post. If I make any changes for some reason, like I changed my location where I was broadcasting from. And if you guys have seen my stuff, it always comes from California. So as soon as I changed my location, it went from me only to Jontisha. But it never goes out between this because at some point she was the last person we were running the test before we started doing our lives. and it kept me there. And now I have to go back in and go public, and then hopefully when I actually post it or go live, it continues to go public. And these are the little things. If they're doing it to me, who I don't have that many viewers or that many followers compared to some people with thousands and hundreds and thousands, if they're going to do it to me, why can't they? Why can't they do it to other people?
Okay.
Right, so
Let's see.
go ahead.
The fake president-elect is about to talk with, Kamala. She's the fake president-elect.
What are
And
they
then Joe
playing?
Biden, too.
What are they playing? Mary J. Blige.
Lester Holt
Why they interrupt it?
2020
Right.
special report. We
They don't want you to. They don't want you to hear
in Delaware. President-elect Joe Biden is about to address the nation following an introduction by Vice
Sorry, we don't have
President-elect
the feed over
Kamala
there,
Harris. She is on
Yeah.
stage now.
So, and I
They're
can't.
all white.
So Ricky says, I'm wondering what dark winter means from what Biden said at the debate.
Hey, could I flip it around?
Can you flip that around?
Can I log in? Send me the stream with my phone, and then, or do you have to back out?
All right. She is so
And then I can
cringy.
put my phone up there, and then we can.
She's so
They can
cringy.
see what we're watching.
Don't fall for the smiles, people.
Thank
I can't stand her.
I locked up people smoking weed, but I smoked weed one time in college.
And I was listening to
Two buckets of Snoop Dogg.
before they were around.
So, Congressman John Lewis, before his passing, wrote, "Democracy is not a state; it is an act."
All right, so what we're
And
doing
what
right now
he
is
meant
I'm
was
gonna
that America's
we're going to
democracy
attempt
is
to get
not
you guys
guaranteed.
on with this so
It
you guys
is
to see
only
the.
as strong as
the
our
feed.
willingness
As the
to
first
fight.
female president. She's not. I'm just kidding.
That was my. I said this earlier. I was like,
To guard it and never
so
take it for
Trump
granted.
lost, and in the
protecting
meantime,
our democracy
we have him till
takes
January
struggle.
20th,
It
and then we'll
takes
have Biden till
sacrifice.
July
But there is
3rd,
joy
and on July
in it.
4th,
And there
they'll
is
forever fuck up our
progress
Independence Day and
because
swear in
we, the
Kamala
people,
Harris.
have the power
Oh,
to build a better future.
I know that's extreme, but
Oh God. Everybody's in their damn cars.
Well, I think that was
I
like
said
another
it.
thing people were talking about the hypocrisy of the
in this
masks
election.
and what happened to
The
COVID
very
and
soul of America
everyone
at stake.
on both sides, like
And
they're
the
all
world watching.
they're all
You
getting together, gathering, but still not wearing masks, and they're like, I
for
guess
America.
it's gone.
Yeah. And they're honking. It's supposed to be like clapping, but it's just annoying.
To our campaign staff and volunteers,
All those
This
rallies you guys did,
extraordinary
all those
thank
packed
you for bringing
rallies
more
of like
people
a
than
dozen
ever
people.
before into the democratic process.
I want to thank all the people that are drawing the circles on the ground.
so you don't want to come sit down for a second?
Oh no, he does.
And for making
You didn't
this
have to say nothing.
victory
You just
possible.
look pretty.
To the poll
He's like, I
workers
can do
and
that.
election officials across
Yeah, there he is. All right.
who have
Go
worked
ahead, come on,
don't be
tirelessly
shy.
to make sure every
Yeah.
vote is
I want
counted.
to.
Our nation
For those of you that are watching,
owes you a debt of
first
Give me
time-
that
So what
camera.
did your face be
First
showing?
time voter,
Oh,
right
Yeah.
here.
You have
I know you guys can tell
protected
we're
the
related.
integrity of our democracy. And to the American people who make up
Oh
our
look,
beautiful
you sat down. Our
country,
view count started going up.
thank you for turning out in record numbers to make your voices
who is
heard.
this too?
We want to thank all the dead people that voted for us.
From hey, did you see that thing where it was like Nevada? He said
Especially
we're not
the last
Nevada.
several months.
We're
The
Nevada.
grief,
And
No, we're not
everyone's like,
Nevada.
We're
Nevada.
Nevada.
the worries,
People
and the struggles.
start Nevading
But
those
we've
votes
also
up.
witnessed
Nevada.
And then she goes like this.
your resilience
Yeah.
and the generosity of your spirit. For 4 years, you marched and organized for equality and justice.
Hey, you know that's
For
Ricky.
our
That's a good point.
lives and
Uh,
for our planet.
I guess we'll
And
wait and
then
see what dark winter means.
voted.
Look at her eyes. They look freaking bloodshot.
I mean, he is
And you
racist.
delivered
Even
a
Kamala
clear
said he
message.
was. So maybe it
You
has something to do with black people.
hope and unity, decency, science, And yes,
Joe Science. Oh my God, bitch! Don't start right now. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That really irritates me. The whole trust science thing. I'll get into that later, but they throw that word around like they understand it. They don't.
Did I see this one? Did it log in?
So they, if you just
Did it give me or what, dude?
No, it didn't come up.
And Joe is
For
a
some reason.
healer,
It's in your messenger.
a uniter, a tested and steady
To
hand,
yourself.
a person
Oh,
whose
it goes
own
away.
experience of loss
That's why.
gives him a sense of purpose that will help us as a nation reclaim our own sense of purpose. And a man with a big heart who loves with abandon.
As
It's
Eric
his
y'all.
love for Jill, who will be an incredible first lady.
She's a horrible woman. She let her husband walk around when he's obviously not meant
It's
to be
his
there.
love for Hunter and
I don't like Jill
Ashley
Biden.
and his
She's worse than Joe
grandchildren
because she's
and the
allowing
entire
Joe
family.
to walk around knowing damn well he needs a hand wherever he goes.
And while I first knew Joe as vice president, I really got to know him as the father who loved Bo, my dear friend, who we remember here today. And
So
to my
beyond the
husband, Doug,
racist,
I like how they always bring up the dead son.
children,
They always bring him up. I'm sorry, President Trump's brother died like a month ago. You don't hear him bringing him up left and right.
I love y'all more than I can ever express.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We are so grateful to Joe and Jill
1800s.
Oh, my bad.
bringing our family
There we
into
go.
theirs
The one thing I don't
on this
understand is,
incredible
like,
journey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
And to
people
the
who are
woman
saying,
most
like,
responsible for
where's
my
the fraud?
presence
There's
here
no
today,
evidence, there's no
my
whatever.
mother,
But all across
Shamala
Facebook,
Kamala
you're
Harris,
finding
was
regular
always in our
people
hearts.
sharing their videos
When
of
she came here from India at the age of 19,
someone
she maybe
filling
didn't
out
imagine this moment,
fake ballots,
but she believed so
ballot
deeply
location workers.
in America.
They're there,
Where a
and
moment
there's
like this
videos
is
of them.
possible.
There's videos of people
And
dropping
so I am
stuff off in
thinking
the middle of
about
the night. There's videos
about the
everywhere across the
generations of
nation,
women,
especially in these
Black
places that
women.
the locations are being questioned. There's video of a regular citizen's video out there,
white,
but people are still saying, but that's not real, or that's not evidence. I don't understand how that's not evidence.
who throughout
Or the
nation's
whistleblowers, right? They're like,
Yeah.
they're not letting us in to watch to see what's going on. It's all
Poll
Democratic.
watchers.
Yeah, the poll watchers, the Democratic poll watchers, they are all not letting the other the Republican poll watchers come in and see what's going on.
for all.
Or boarding up the walls so they
Yeah.
can't see. Like, these are videos that are actually out there, but yet
so often proved
there's no
to be
evidence.
the
See, there'd be all kinds of evidence
That's
if it wasn't being all censored and everything. All right. Oh, man, that honking, I can't. How can you do a speech and people keep looking at you?
to
That's like,
secure and protect
Yeah.
the right to
Yeah,
vote
there was.
for over a century.
yeah, there was more observers for the Democrats. Republicans weren't even. They were only like 20 feet.
55 years ago,
How you gonna
the
watch
Voting
what they're doing
Rights
from 20
Act,
feet away? You
and
can't
now in
read
2020,
letters that
the
small
new
from far away. That's
generation of women in
common
our
sense.
country
or the
who cast
posters
their
they had
ballots
up
and
next to
continue
as you
to
walk
fight
in,
for
like
their
the
fundamental
marketing.
right to vote
Should be
and
good.
be heard.
Oh, there you
the
go.
marketing that you have.
Switch.
Tonight I reflect on their struggle, their
There we
determination,
go. So
and the strength of their vision to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And I stand on their
how much of
shoulders.
this is cut off?
And what a testament it is
Why does it
to
keep doing
Joe's
that?
character that he had the audacity
We're
Yeah.
to
trying
break
to
one
pass.
of the most substantial barriers that exists in our country and select a woman as his vice president.
Better to turn it on.
I'm sorry, they weren't saying that about Sarah Palin when she was running for vice president.
Also, you guys, let me know how the sound is,
While I
since
may
if
be
we
the
have
first
both
woman in
on
this
here. Let me know how the
office,
sound
I
is.
will not be the last.
She looked like she had that what's his name from
Every little girl
Jello guy?
watching tonight
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. She did the Bill Cosby face like this.
is a country of possibilities. And to the children of our country,
Did she just mention the children?
regardless of
Look,
your
she did it
gender,
herself and saw.
our
But it
country
was weird.
has sent you a clear message. Dream
Also,
with
Candace
ambition.
Owens had a lawsuit against fact
Lead
checkers who are
with
private companies
conviction.
owned by people.
And see
Yes.
yourselves in a way
A lot of
that
those fact
others may
checkers are.
not, simply because they've
They're
never
not real
seen it
fact checkers.
before. But know that we will applaud you every step of the way.
All right, I want to hear what she says so I can
Commentate.
commentate. I'll tell you what I'm
To the
sick and tired
American
of.
people, no matter who you vote
Sick and
for,
tired of race baiting.
I will strive to be a vice president, like Joe was to President Obama. Loyal, honest, and
Yep.
prepared, waking up every day, thinking of you and your family. Because now is when the real work begins.
Yeah,
The hard
that's what we
work,
all think.
the necessary
That was the
work,
biggest lie I've
the
ever
good
heard in my life.
work,
Right?
the essential work to save lives and beat this epidemic, to rebuild our economy so it works
Yes,
for working
Elizabeth.
people,
Yep.
to root out systemic racism in our justice system and society.
Systemic racism, that thing we can't
To combat
define and
the
cannot
climate
find. And
crisis,
that
to
thing.
unite our country and heal
You
the
know,
soul
one of
of
the
our
only places
nation.
I know of that ever had systemic, institutional, and what's the other word they like to
And
use?
the road ahead
Systemic,
will
institutional,
not be easy.
whatever, racism.
Yeah.
But America,
The only place, South
is
Africa,
ready.
apartheid.
and so are
3,000
Joe
pages, 10
and
pounds
I.
worth of laws that separated and segregated people, and you could not have. It was
We
against the
have
law to
elected a
have a
president who represents
interracial or
the
outer
best
racial,
in
whatever you want
us.
to call it, like
a leader
relationship.
the world will respect and our children will look up to.
Like it was against the law
A
for black people,
commander in
white people
chief
to
who will
just
respect our
have
troops
sex.
and keep our country safe. And a president
Doctors
for
are probably
all
I can't believe they didn't
Americans.
go with the same line.
Which one?
He's like, a president that will respect our troops. I'm
And it
sorry.
is now my great honor to
You know,
introduce the
the
President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
And Elizabeth, that's true. I personally know people who have had.
I like the. Sorry, go ahead. I just like
Yeah.
the fact that he's running.
Go
Well,
ahead, but talk.
Look, I'm not fat.
Anyways, stop it, you guys.
get those shots.
Anyway, so I know people who had sick members in their family or whatnot, and I know one specifically where she had cancer, and the doctors, coroners, whoever, the doctors were trying to write it off as a COVID death, and her husband fought it and was like, no, this is not a COVID death, this is a cancer death. And so I know that yeah, that's true. They're trying to push it off as that.
You're on camera, bro.
You are a camera.
Oh my god. You the first timer?
Yeah,
You've never done this before?
he's a virgin.
Proposition 14 is stem cell research. I know that it passed out here in California. I'm sorry, but I was against it because they've had 16 years to do something with it, and they have no money, and so I said no. Also, I believe it's supposed to be funded by bonds, and we're going to have to pay for that in the long run
I
anyways.
think Senator
Just
Coons
my
is
opinion.
there. I think the governor's around. Is that Ruth Ann? And that former Governor Ruth Ann Minard. Most importantly, my sister's-in-law, my sister Valerie.
Sure it's not your wife? Trying to mix them up again?
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken.
Probably.
My
They've
favorite
delivered
one
us a clear
was like,
victory,
we never
a
heard that
convincing
before.
victory
Joe Biden forgets what he was
victory.
running for.
for
Oh my
we the people.
Stop it.
We won with the most votes ever cast on presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million.
Oh, sorry.
He smirked because we cheated.
Well,
Yeah.
I must admit it surprised me. Bring a better day. And I'm humbled by the trust and
Oh, that's right,
confidence
because you can mute
you
it.
placed in me.
That's
Right.
right.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue
Oh my
states,
God.
only sees the United United States.
That is a good pick. That's a good line.
No, that is corny as hell.
With the
I like
confidence of the whole people to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what
Oh, wow.
America, I believe, is about.
That is awesome, Grace.
It's about people.
See, I didn't,
And
I
that's
obviously am not a
what our
biological
administration
coach.
is all about. I sought this office
Obviously, I'm not a biological major, but I figured, dude, it's been how long,
of this nation.
and also
the
it's
middle
super
class.
expensive, and there's rarely anyone like us that is going to be able to even be on a trial of stem cell research
It's the United
to
States.
really get any of benefits. So
It's the honor of my lifetime that so many millions of Americans have voted for that vision. And now the work of making that vision is real. It's a task, the task of our time. Folks,
I'm waiting.
as I said many times before,
I'm telling you, they gave him a shot
I'm
as
Jill's
Jensen.
husband.
He said Joe's husband or Jill's husband.
Without their love and tireless support of Jill and my son Hunter and Ashley, my daughter, and all our grandchildren and their spouses and all our family. They're my heart. Jill's a mom, a military mom, an educator. She's dedicated her life to education. But teaching isn't just what she does, it's who she is.
Where are we going with
For
this, Joe?
American educators, this is a great day for you all.
oh, why?
What, you're taking away all the private
Why?
schools, the charter schools?
In the White House. And Jill's gonna make it great first lady. I'm so proud of her.
But why are
The thing you guys would have to-
why are teachers getting so happy now? Wait, though, I want to know why.
Vice President, you just heard from Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala or Kamala?
Who makes history as the first woman, the first woman from
I
South
think-
Asian descent, the first daughter of immigrants ever elected in this country. Don't tell me it's not possible in the United States. It's long overdue. And we're reminded tonight of those who fought
I just want to go back to this word.
years to make this happen.
If black people
Once again,
and people of color are oppressed, then how the hell have we had a black president in the first
Kamala, Doug,
Indian,
like it or not,
African, Jamaican president or vice president? And said president, because we all know that's what she's going to be.
Yeah.
If they're oppressed.
all those of you who volunteered and worked the polls in the middle of the pandemic,
I was gonna say little.
those elected officials, you deserve a special thanks.
This is our who worked polls.
You campaign team of volunteers, and all who gave so much of themselves to make this.
You know why I said it? It's corny stuff. It's because I'm the guy that puts out like, defund the
And
poll
all those who
Please.
supported us.
and hire the social workers. But then you bring in the social workers, you got caught for fraud.
The most diverse coalition in history. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, progressives, moderates, conservatives.
Stem cell research that we give your voice in.
Gay, straight, transgender, white, Latino, Asian, Native American.
They always say it's black.
I mean it, especially in those moments. And especially those
They don't give a
moments
shit
in
about
this
you guys. They got a reservation.
That's all.
campaign.
That's all Democratic policy. They don't educate the public on what it's really about. They just, hey, sign this. It's gonna help you. And then you just, assume you're gonna sign it.
You know why they put you guys last? Because you guys are a sovereign nation.
This campaign to represent and look like America. We've done that. Now that's about the administration.
It's true.
For all those of you.
They're more worried about black people than they are.
Understand this important tonight. I've lost a couple times myself, but now let's give each other a chance.
But why did you lose?
Yeah, why
But what did you lose? Plagiarism?
racism?
Lower the temperature. See each other again.
You know what he won?
Listen to each other again.
Locking black
And to
people
make
up.
progress.
You won that.
We have to
Good.
Stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies. They are Americans. They're Americans.
They got quiet when we get up. They're like, fuck them
I
guys.
don't think he's gonna tear it down, but I think that
January
if
is the season.
he
ultimately becomes president, I think that he's going to get real lax on the immigration policy.
This is the time to heal America.
Which I believe that there definitely needs to be a lot of reformation of the immigration policy and procedures and all the departments.
I believe it's this.
But there definitely needs to be one, but this needs to be
The martial force of
reformatted,
decency.
all that. There's a lot that goes into it.
The martial force of science. The battle to control the virus. The battle to build prosperity. The battle to secure your family's health care. The battle to achieve racial justice and root out systemic racism in this country.
That I used to keep all
And the battle to save our planet by getting climate under
Well, I'm glad
control.
we're getting rid of apartheid.
The battle to restore decency, defend democracy, and give everybody in this country a fair shot. That's all they're asking for, a fair shot.
No, that's not. We're talking about black people? Because that's not what they're asking for.
Again, you're getting COVID under control.
They're asking for like
We cannot
billions of dollars their own land.
restore vitality or relish life's most
Who do they
precious
think they are? The
moments.
Native Americans?
All the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control.
Hey, come on, man.
On Monday, I will name a group of leading scientists and experts as transition advisors to help take the Biden-Harris COVID plan and convert it into an action blueprint that will start on January the 20th of 2021.
I feel like he's been playing stupid this whole time. Like he's been playing like he has dementia.
But we can
know you're muted, right?
No, but they can hear me on the other mic. They
I
can't.
will spare no effort, none,
Fine.
or any commitment.
Here. Joe Biden is a liar. He's been making us believe he's had dementia for the last 6 months. That was not me, that was him.
As an American president,
I didn't say it again.
He fooled us. This guy doesn't have dementia. Joke's on us. You suck, Joe Biden.
No, I think
let
he
this prisoner of
He took a shot.
demonization
yeah.
Every time he swears.
begin to end
Every time he swears.
here and now.
You guys got to remember, Joe Biden's been a politician. Sorry. You got to remember, Joe Biden's been a politician for almost 50 years. He's really good at these kind of speeches. He's really broad. Americans got to do this. Americans got to do that.
Then we can decide.
That's all he's ever done. He doesn't talk about policy. He says he's going to do something about COVID, but his plan is literally what President Trump's already doing. He's just going to cross out Trump and put Biden over and be like, there's my plan.
And their interest.
Biden plan.
Now call on
Trump had a good plan, but I got an even better plan. Biden. It's even better with Bill back now.
And yes, to stop child trafficking, and a bunch more, as far as why that the wall was built or why the procedures or whatever became so strict. Yes, I agree.
We're going to talk about the war in a second, but I just want to throw this out there. Every time he says, "Build back better," for some reason, I think every time he says, "Build back better," and I'm like, "Big back me boom." Like, I don't know why.
And yes, there is a pumpkin.
In 1860,
Hi.
we saved the Union.
And where's the echo? Let me know. Is there echo now?
Yes, that's
Or
what
is it stopped? Where's the echo now?
JFK in 1960 pledging a new frontier.
I know, right?
And 12 years ago, when Barack Obama made history and told us, yes, we can. We stand at an inflection point. We have an opportunity to defeat the
Fine, they don't
spirit,
really care.
to build a nation of prosperity.
Hear that? I mean, if it's
We
like
can
that,
do
but
it.
remember, we don't say yes. Fine. Because if they hear that, remember, we also, because we got to
We
be
must
commentating.
restore
If we don't, we take it down. So the lighter
our
it is,
nation's shape
the longer we can
by
go
the
without
constant
sickness.
battle between our better angels and our darkest impulses. And what presidents say in this ballot matters. It's time for a better angels to prevail.
And they're like, oh, the baby's
The whole world is
cute. But then
watching
their little pigtails.
And I believe at our best, America's a beacon for the globe. We will not lead, we will lead
Not
only
trying
by
to
example of our power,
toot
but
my
the
own
power
horn,
of
but
our example.
this family does make good looking babies.
I've always believed.
What happens to them after they're no longer babies?
America in one word. Possibilities.
Possibilities.
In America, everyone should be given an opportunity to go as far as their dreams and God-given ability will take you.
And this is the bullshit that I'm talking about because we do have that opportunity.
Let's get this country.
Oh,
You said
drink,
it.
drink.
It's good as.
Ahead to an America that's freer and more just. Ahead to an America that creates jobs with dignity and respect. Ahead to America that cures diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's.
You gotta drink. You
Ahead to
start it
America
again.
Like
Start
cancer
it
and
again.
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer?
Ahead to America that never gives up, never gives in. It's a great nation.
We've had that America.
Oh yeah, we don't give in. So best believe
How
he's not really president.
he forgot what we did in the Middle East?
Never been anything
We didn't give in.
Not able to do when we've done it together. Folks, in the last days of the campaign, I began thinking about a hymn that means a lot to me and my family, particularly my deceased son.
You know,
The dead son again.
That sustains me,
no,
which I believe sustains America.
he's going to go with the Black National Anthem.
And I hope it can provide some comfort and solace
Watch.
to 230,000 Americans.
Million or thousand?
Americans this year. My heart goes
Did
out
he
to
say
each
a
and every
million
one of
or
you.
a thousand?
He's going to tell us his
A
hymn.
million
A
thousand.
million thousand.
I want to hear his hymn.
Is that a
And he will
security?
raise you up on eagle's wings.
Oh, he really had
Carry you on the
a hymn.
breath of dawn.
Take it back. That's a good hymn.
The sun
We used to sing in the Catholic Church.
in the palm of his hand. And now together, on eagle's wings, we embark on the work that God and His church called upon us to do with full hearts and steady hands, with faith in America and in each other, with love of country, a thirst for justice.
He's so full of shit. He's a Catholic but believes in abortion.
Can be. A nation
She
united.
said he's gonna. Christina says he's going to take credit for all Trump has
The
done.
United
Yep.
States of America, ladies and
You
gentlemen,
have to want to work
never,
hard to get somewhere.
never
Once I'm
been
a
anything
chance,
we
I
tried
worked
we
hard,
have been able to
and now
do.
have to become a boss
So remember,
because of my
As
hard
my
work.
grandpapa,
And now,
said
and now
when I
have
walked
become
out
a
of his
boss.
home
Yes.
when I was a kid up in Scranton, he said, Joey,
Scranton.
Is another
and
one?
my grandmother, when she was
Well, you
alive, she
didn't
yelled,
know
no, Joey, spread it.
Scranton, but I know it's Stockton.
May God bless America, and may God protect our children.
Yeah, protect them from your evil ass freaking.
He said protect our church, but
President-elect Joe Biden
Said
his address.
oh, the what?
Protect our
Our troops? I could have
Yeah,
said
from your cookie deals.
Could have sworn it said church, but I'm like, you guys support
He's
church?
he's like, where am I going?
He doesn't know where he's.
Oh, he's looking at the TV.
Oh my God. They're still doing the screens.
Where are we at? Jim, where are we at?
Oh, she's coming out right now.
The president-elect introduced by running mate and now Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who noted that he had, as he put, audacity to select a woman as his vice president.
Yeah. Alright. Now they're just waving at the crowd. Forgetting where he's at. He's going out. Wait, is Hunter there? Hey, is Hunter over there?
No, I doubt it.
Where's Hunter?
Pretty sure he's on the road.
Where's Hunter? That's him. That's Hunter right there.
Is it?
That's Hunter.
Okay, people are
With his face mask on. Yeah, I'd hide my face too.
Why is there white stuff on his face mask?
Stop.
Everybody knows Kim. You can blow through your face mask.
He's got a little. And I like how he came out holding the baby. He's like, don't mind me, I'm holding the baby.
Oh, that.
President-elect
Oh,
family
That is Hunter.
him.
on the stage.
That's Hunter right there.
Congratulations and congratulations. Like the rest of the
Oh, are there
country,
more?
Joe Biden had to wait a few days to watch the votes.
What will
come
they
in,
say if
and the
it's found out that he
projection
didn't
today
really
being
win? Right, exactly. That's what we were talking about earlier.
pushed him.
Probably not through any of the regular news media. It'll probably hit the internet at some point, unless the internet crashes or something, and no one can find out.
Yes. And also, kind of to go. Oh,
Wow, that was
all
quick.
right.
Lester, thank you.
Take that off.
They're like, all right, let's go back to football.
Well, and the other thing is what I don't know. What's going to happen when Hunter Biden's all the evidence on his laptop, because they're investigating that, they have legal cases and everything. What's going to happen when that all comes to light?
Oh, that just makes me sick. They're having the little kids go up there and
You about to get off on the
don't let him. Is that his victory sniff? You get to sniff all of these kids, President. One from each state.
Right, that's what's going to happen to Hunter.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. That's not funny.
It's not. But he's like Indiana, California.
Each state has a different smell.
Oh my god.
I will say
And you know,
Stop
it's not
it.
more tropical.
if there's a silver lining in this, if he does end up winning, I'm gonna have a field day with this guy for the next couple of years. Oh my god. They're passing out the Vic. That's why it's loading right now, is because he started sniffing and like, all right, cut the feed. We don't even see that.
Oh, it will go away. Yeah, the whole Hunter thing. It better not go away. I think so. I seen this post about Biden winning being good for Republicans or conservatives, because then if it does turn out this way, then Trump has 2 months to kind of go free, to kind of just go off and go balls to walls and freaking uncover everything and go charging for it with no hesitation whatsoever. And the Bidens, that's going to be one thing among a whole bunch of other things. And so I would assume that Trump is not going to put the brakes on when it comes to Hunter and the laptop and all the business that's been going on over there, or Biden and the voting the election process, or whatever else he's been uncovering, like the whole human trafficking thing that they've been going real hard on that, and then a whole bunch of children have been found, so there's going to be a whole bunch of that. So I'm hoping that Trump doesn't seem to be a man that says something and doesn't follow up with it. And if he started something, he likes to finish. There was a video. He did an interview years ago. I want to say like 2010-ish era, between like 2006 2012, somewhere around there. I think. Don't quote me. Anyways, he was on there, and they had asked him then. He's had his eye on the presidency for a very long time. And one thing that he said was that, but if I run for president, I'm going to win, because who wants to lose? Nobody likes to lose. And he's like, and I don't like to lose. I like to win. And given his history of everything that he's ever gone after or whatnot, that's the kind of tenacity that he has, and the mindset that he has, a business mindset, is to go after it hard, but also to do it efficiently and right as possible. And for those of you who might say anything about the loopholes or about the little side courses that he took or whatever, but Democrats put those bills and those laws into place for people like him, or businessmen or business people like him, to take advantage of, because not only did it help them, but it also lined the pockets of politicians at the time, which hurt the rest of us. So if you don't know your history, that's part of that history, and that's why he was able to do a lot of the things that he did, because he didn't actually break the law. So
I want to go. Somebody had brought up walls.
Before you switch,
yeah, I was going to say he had something to say about it.
well, just to bounce off that point she just made right now about the taxes, how they were trying to say he didn't pay taxes. There's a difference between tax avoidance versus tax evasion. Tax evasion is what Wesley Snipes did, where he owed taxes and he didn't pay it, as where tax avoidance is a legal process where you can find these loopholes that they put in law for people to where you can legally pay less taxes. It's not the president's fault. That if that law is there and it's available to him, why wouldn't he take it? That's more money for him. That's more money for people he could pay. So, there's so like the way they like I guess the way they present it to people, it's all about perception. It's how they frame it. They frame it like you didn't pay taxes, but $750 that was when I was a fee, like a filing fee or something.
Well, in addition to that, he had prepaid. So he has CPAs that are amazing that are going to help him, but tax people, preppers, accountants, they prepaid taxes because they had a forecast of what his taxes were going to be based on all the businesses he had, all the properties he had, and they forecasted what he was going to owe, and they prepaid. And when they prepaid the taxes, he overpaid, and I think he overpaid, or he paid enough to where at the end of it he ended up only having $750. On top of that, there are plenty of realtor friends that I know that have posted and said everything that he does. There's again, like I said, there's all these tax breaks and all these different little loopholes, all these little things that business people can take advantage of. And again, were put in place by Democratic politicians. Democratic people put these bills and these policies in place for people like Trump and other businessmen and probably politicians to take advantage of. So,
The wall.
oh, we're going back to the wall.
Like, for instance, Tisha, if you were to start selling bracelets and make profit off of it, you can't write off your rent at the end of the year because this is your place of work.
Right.
So
I can write off an area as long as I own the home. There's an area of the home that I can write off. Which I was doing. I sold Unique for a little while. So I was a network marketer.
You're not a camera.
I was a person, an independent seller. And because of that, so I use my phone, I use my computer, I use my electricity, I use my house. And if I own this house, since I don't own it, so we'll just go from there. So all of the essential things that I use for my business, for me to sell online or digitally on my phone virtually, or to take my product somewhere, so it's gas, and I can even probably go so far as if I still have payments on my car. There's a portion of all of those things that I can write off because I'm using it for my business.
Oh yeah, if you got kids and you claim them on your taxes, I mean, is that you screwing over the government, or
Trying to get over it? Before I get to the wall, it's funny because I had this conversation with somebody at work, and they were like, "Yeah, but all these rich people are always trying to get over on their taxes, trying to write stuff off and evade taxes," and kind of the same conversation what you explained. I explained to them, but I told this guy, I was like, "Man,
But doesn't everybody though?
Have you ever tried to get away with not paying taxes?"
That's what I'm saying. But doesn't everybody though?
Like, I know somebody who bought a
to
truck,
write off as much as they can.
who bought a brand new truck, and they're writing it off because it's their work truck for the business that they run on the weekend that they might only do once or twice a month. So everybody tries to get over on the system.
Clothes.
Don't be mad.
You can write off
Yeah,
clothes.
I used to write off all my black clothes for the salon because
I know somebody right now who's waiting for things to happen so she can open up a salon inside the front room, and she's probably going to do a tax write-off on it. Anyways, so my point, what I'm getting to is, I said I know somebody right now that's trying to open up a salon inside their front room.
Oh man!
And they'll probably use
you
it as a tax
picture
write-off.
of that because in about a month.
But the point is everybody wants to talk about all these rich people, and they want to be mad that all these rich people write stuff off. If you're going to be mad at something, be mad at yourself. Because don't be mad at them, because the difference between you and them is just dollars. If anything, you should be mad at yourself for not being able to do what they did. They just do it better. That's it.
Delusional projection.
Yeah. Emotional projection. Like I'll be honest.
She looked that one up today.
Right? I seen that earlier. Like I'm not mad because somebody's making more money than me. My thing is okay, because here's the thing. P. Diddy makes a whole bunch of money. LeBron James makes a whole bunch of money. Oprah, what they didn't make, Oprah has the rest. So when the black community is talking about, oh, we're oppressed, yeah, you take the like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Michael Jackson's not here no more, so Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Oprah, like they got all your money. And then maybe Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg got a little bit of it too. But here's the thing, Dr. Dre, he's up there. You got like maybe a handful of people. They got all your money. If you want to be bad, like if they can do it, you can too. These people came from where we all came from, and that's nothing. Because I'm sorry, as a kid, most of us don't have money in the bank account. So we hit 16, 17, 18 years old. We all start off with nothing. So they all came from nothing. They made it. So when they start talking about how these people get away with it, I bet you P. Diddy, Oprah, and LeBron James, I bet you they have a bunch of write-offs, but you ain't talking about them. You're only talking about white people. Everybody's so obsessed with white people. And to the wall. I made the comment. I made a comment. No, I had made a comment about the wall. Like same thing. Like I hope they don't try to take down the wall when he leaves. And then somebody was like, "What to do is that work? Well, walls don't even work." And I was like, "That's a bullshit ass lie." China had a wall, and it's still standing. It still works. It's still a wall
for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
It's been up for a long time.
I mean, they might not use it what they used to use it for, but it's still a wall. But walls work. So for those of you that don't know, the Dominican Republic and Haiti are on the same island. You can fact check me, but how do you think they separate them? Anyways, so what I'm saying is like,
gonna fact check that later.
Well, how do they separate?
It's like now he's thinking about it. He's like, you have a wall.
I'm pretty sure they have a wall.
Well, I got one right here about
But I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna blow somebody's mind. They're gonna be like, Haiti's on the same island as the Dominican Republic. They're gonna go look and they're gonna be like, what?
Did you read it?
Oh, did you hear what's his face died?
Who?
Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
He's Scottish. What is he? He's
Do they have a wall?
I honestly,
Scottish.
yeah.
Yeah. James Bond just died.
Hey, did you like that video I sent you?
But which one? Oh, the Avengers video. Hey, there's an Avengers video out there. Dude, we should put that up and laugh at it. That shit was. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, dude. I'll
Wait, is it where Trump's Thanos and they're all trying to take him down?
Yeah. Except in this reality, Trump wins. All right. Yeah, the wall was a big one.
I got something to say about the wall real quick.
Here's my thing with the wall, right? Because here's my thing with this whole year. For those of you that are still tuned in, people are thinking that Biden's going to come in and that we're going to have our country and it's going to be the same it is. But if he defunds the police, he defunds the military, because that is a thing. They have pushed that. If he opens up the borders, we know that they've already been. No,
Eric, who actually
they know that they've been silencing some of us and allowing others to speak. So they're already taking a shot at our First Amendment right. And he's already said that if he wins, so for all you guys that just voted for him, and if this actually goes through, for you registered gun owners, hey, good job, because you just fucked me and you. And we're going to have to pay an annual fee for our guns if he goes through with his policies, or you're going to have to turn the shit in. So I don't think people are thinking through what he said in the process.
How much is the fee going to be?
He hasn't said it yet. But here's the thing. You got those 5 things I just told you. If people can't afford to pay the fee for their gun, they take their gun away. You keep allowing them to silence us on social media, now we lose our freedom of speech.
So it's going to be like a car registration for
Yeah.
a gun?
Yeah. You because they want you to keep them registered.
But they don't take your car.
You defund our police. Nobody protects our cities. You defund our military. Nobody here to protect our borders. Even if you were to open them up, we would still have protection with the military. And then the last thing you do, go ahead, open up our borders. For those of you that don't think that this would go south fast, those are 5 ways, and that's already in motion that you're going to lose your country. And we're ready to. They already want to ease up on the trade deals and let China get everything they want. You guys were so afraid of Trump. I'm not saying you guys, but the Democrats, the lefties out there, so afraid of Trump doing, work with Russia and North Korea and China, and or not doing work with them. There's no. I mean, it's a good thing that we're on good terms with North Korea. We should be. At some point, we need to make that happen. And I think he got us in the door because we don't want a nuclear war. China, no, they're hurting a lot of people. Everybody wants to go help all these people out, but yet we don't want to look at China.
There's a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yeah, Russia, they're the next superpower next to us, in my personal opinion, I think it's Russia. I don't look at you because
I know why you didn't look at me.
Yeah. So Russia, I think they're the next thing that could hurt us. Outside of, I don't think China's really got it. But
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think China is the problem. It's always been the problem. And the only reason they keep saying Russia, Russia, Russia is because Russia is its own problem. But Russia's like a legacy enemy. It's like they're always the bad guys. Like all the people during the Cold War is like Russians are the bad guys. Those Chinese.
Let me clarify this. I'm talking
about people who want to
let me clarify
take
this.
us over.
I'm talking about is like as far as military manpower goes. Like, yes, can China hurt us? I think economically, and I think they could weasel their way in. But I'm talking like the only other like big threat, military wise, I would say is Russia.
Yeah, but don't you think that maybe like I don't want to say Indian, but like some of the Middle Eastern countries.
No, we outnumber them, and they're not.
No, I don't. Can I finish? Every time. I don't mean as far as like military goes, but as far as like insurgency and trying to come in a secretive way and playing behind the scenes. Because you remember that documentary that Dinesh put out?
That's why I think China is the worst problem because they're already doing that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't realize this.
Yeah.
Because like the whole
Susie's thoughts, and you can jump over.
Okay.
And finish your thoughts.
All right, cool. All right, so as far as like the China Russia thing,
yeah.
China's kind of already infiltrated America. All right, during the Cold War, like during the 50s when it was first kicking off, there's this thing called the Red Scare, which was everybody in America was afraid of communism,
right?
Because Russians were communists. We already beat the Nazis, so we're not worried about them anymore. It's been times have passed and all that was going on. Everybody was afraid of communists. Soviet Union. The Korean War was during the 50s, so we were actually fighting communist China in North Korea during that time. And everybody in America was afraid of these foreign communist people in America spreading all these lies. It's called Marxism. Mm-hmm. You know what's funny that I know a lot of people don't know about this, but you know the Black Lives Matter founders? I'm not talking about everybody that has a Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the founders, the ones that started the movement.
That's true.
They have on record, more than one of them have claimed to be trained Marxists.
Right.
And you know what's funny is this is how you know Democratic voters. They're not educated on politics. They don't know they hear Marxist. They don't know what that means. A Marxist is literally someone that's trained to overthrow a government. All right. So when it comes to Marxism, they are literally the segue into communism.
Right.
And in this country, they're pretending to be liberals. All right. I say liberal a lot on my channel, and I know he says it too, but like modern day Democrats are not real liberals. You call them pseudo liberals because in reality, what they really are is they're pushing the socialist agenda, because once America starts becoming more socialist, it'll eventually segue into communism. Look, like he was just saying, they're getting rid of the First Amendment. They're censoring all this crap right now. They just stole an election, which is what happens in banana republics, and then they're trying to open our borders, get rid of our guns, get rid of our military. Like you can't see the writing on the wall.
What's a banana republic?
That's just a fancy term they say for like, I guess they're referring to like places like Africa or South America where like there's revolutions all the time you never hear about.
And
like
you call it a banana republic?
That's what they call it. All right, it's just a term. It just means like it's like
Hey, you can't say Banana Republic and then mention Africa.
Right.
Somebody's going to think you're racist.
I didn't make up the word. It's just a freaking term they use. But we're okay. They're getting me off subject here.
Sorry.
Right?
You caught me off guard with that. Sorry.
It's a term. I didn't make it up. All right. But what they're saying is essentially that this process, this election process, is not legitimate. This is what happens in third world countries where they have elections, but they're rigged. All right. There's other people from other countries that are immigrants coming here that are scared right now because they see what's happening in America right now. It happened in their own country. This happened in Venezuela. This happened in Cuba. This happened in North Korea, because a lot of people don't realize that the Korea Peninsula used to be its own thing, and then the Japanese invaded, and then World War II happened, and then like they were fighting over it, and they became split. And North Korea became communist, while South Korea became democratic, whatever you want to call it. And they've been fighting ever since. But like, I'm losing my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
I do this all the time when I'm doing my podcast. I'll start talking. I'm like, I forgot my point.
Yeah, because you're like going and you're like, wait a minute. Yeah.
The whole point is.
I was gonna say something about something you said, and then I forgot. So.
Oh, because he was talking about Russia and China, and why I believe China is the big problem is because ever since the 50s.
No, you were talking about the immigrants who moved here. They moved here because they were moving away from a socialist country.
Yes.
I was just going to say, yeah, and that's really sad and unfortunate, and it sucks because some of those people have moved multiple times only to find out that every new place that they moved to ended up becoming a socialist country, and the whole country went to crap, and they had nowhere to go, so they finally ended up here, which is 100 times more freer than most of the countries on this globe. There's countries that can't vote. There's countries that I think someone had made a post earlier about how privileged we are as Americans who are in a pandemic, who are locked down, but have warm homes, have food on the shelves, have clean water, can shower. Drinks. Well, clean water is the same thing. Drinks, yes, drinks, and can still do all these things and work or be home or whatever. Whereas there's other countries who can't and don't, and they're not in pandemics, but they live like they are.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna side question over here. But for people that like stuff more freer, we sure as hell are ready to give up a lot of our rights.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that. But he said for people that want all that free crap, you're sure willing to give up all your rights. A lot of people don't realize that nothing in this world is free. That's a scam. All right. Politics, the way they work is they prey on the ignorant voter. They just name things certain ways. They call it free. They don't tell you that the people working are going to have to pay for it through the taxes. And if you're paying more taxes, like the reason why people, like, at least, I don't know, like if anybody else that owns a business or works a lot and has to deal with taxes every year, you realize like taxes is like the one expense you have that like, that's not an investment. It's not an investment in yourself. It's an investment in the government. And then the government gets to decide what to do with that money.
For what?
We're just talking about general taxes.
Oh, yeah.
When you buy your own equipment for like this, you buy your own equipment as an investment. You buy your own clothes, you buy a car, all that's investments in yourself and your business. But taxes, that's not an investment. That's a liability. That's a cost. That's something that like you have to pay, but you're not going to get anything back for it. All right. That's going to the government, the most inefficient way, the most inefficient organization for spending money.
Who says they're going to put it in certain places, but don't actually put it there, and then say that they need to raise taxes again for the same things because those things need more money or they need help or whatever to help them implement these things, but yet nothing has changed. You don't see any of it getting better. It's still the same. Like I thought they took taxes for that.
Well, they create problems with some of these policies, and then they pass more policies to fix the problem they created in the first place. What's a good example? I'm gonna think of a good example.
And it's crazy how much, like I was just sitting here thinking, like it's crazy how much, as kids, obviously you're not into any of this stuff, but for the younger kids who are, bravo to them because I'm 37. I'm about to be 38. And stop that. That's right. I'm the wisest one here, so it's fine. Anyways, I'm about to be 38, and I just started investing in learning, educating myself about our local government and our nation and all the policies and all the different things. And it is really very important. And I know adults tell kids that. I know they told us all the time, like, it's important, you need to know, but you really don't know until you're older and something happens. So I appreciate being able to learn about these things and to participate. Again, like I said, there are other countries who don't get to participate like we do.
Yeah, and I just want to follow up on that point about participating in politics. I think there's another. I can pause that real quick. When it comes to participating in politics, you have to realize that President Trump is the reason why so many people showed up.
Are you serious?
So many people showed up to vote this year. All right, even if you didn't like the guy, you can't deny that everybody's been following politics this year because of Trump. The shit he says out loud, the way he acts. I know a lot of people don't like it, but you know what he does effectively. He gets your attention.
Yeah.
He makes headlines. He makes you pay attention to what is going on. If it wasn't for President Trump, I don't think anybody would be worried about China. All right. He said, China, 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 China. There's a reason he keeps saying it. It's because they're a totalitarian country. And they're like, I keep saying this. No one has got to agree with me on this, but I really feel like communist China right now is the modern day Nazi Germany. People are like, wait a minute, but China's communist and the Nazis were fascists. That's the opposite, right? No, they're both socialist countries. They're both totalitarian. The only difference is with fascism, they allow private property, but only for the government. So they can own stuff properly, but you can't. They don't allow private ownership. Everything's to the state. Fascism and communism are not that different. All right. And honestly, I feel like China is a modern day Nazi Germany.
So you just said that damn, I lost it. I came over here for something. It was about China.
It was about China because China was the keyword.
Trump making everybody participate.
Oh yes, Trump. So going back to Trump, right? So I know I'm going to agree with you on that. I think more people have been interested in what's going on for two reasons. One, it's been entertaining. This has been entertaining 4 years. This last 6 months has been entertaining. I think more people have been involved and have gotten involved. Why? Because they shut the country down. They didn't let people go to work, and you only had a few options. You could work out in your house. You could talk to the people in your house. But when that shit started getting old, people started watching the news and stuff.
Yeah.
But Trump
the
is Trump is the most American president I think will ever get, because this dude is from New York. He says whatever the fuck he wants. He don't care if he hurts your feelings. He's not. If he hates everybody, he hates us all equally. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think it matters, and he's going to speak what is on his mind. I mean, the dude's an entertainer. He's a businessman. I think we needed somebody like that to shake up the country, to show you, hey, look, there are other options, and they can work. Because he's Trump, and yes, he comes with his faults. I think that hurt him in his presidency, but I'll tell you what, it sure opened a lot of people's eyes. I much rather take the businessman that is here to take care of his country, because I think they'll be more honest and truthful to us, because they have to relinquish a lot of that business power. Everybody thinks, oh, Trump has all these businesses. You guys, for some of you guys don't understand that he actually had to let go of a lot of that, because he couldn't own that coming in.
Yeah,
he's taking a loss. He's not even taking money for presidency.
Donates all of it.
So they bash him, but to me, he's the most American as it comes. Why? Because he has money. He's not using this for money. He's not sure the hell ain't using it for power, because it's not really giving him any power. He has not taken over the states. Yes, he's made his crazy comments, but if you ever read his book, you know that he will go to 100, and then he'll negotiate backwards, because if he starts out with zero and asks for 100, he wins no matter what, even if he gets one.
That's business 101, though.
I mean, the people look at him like he's this evil guy.
That's
No,
sales 101 thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's as American as it comes, and I'm talking like Joe Biden.
You've been drinking now,
Because
right?
you took all the shots that you had to take when
They
you
didn't even
slurred.
know I was drinking until you said something.
They
What do
knew.
you think this
You were
is?
saying shit.
Anyway, shots.
It's tea.
Yeah, it's tea.
But anyways, that's what I'm saying. He's as American as it comes. That's
Yeah.
my whole point.
He is.
That's what I wanted to come
I
over.
want to add to that. He brought up a good point, him being a businessman. When you own a business, you know what it feels like to be accountable. You don't pay your bills, you go under. You don't follow the rules, you get audited. I mean, being a businessman means you're held accountable.
He
When
has
you're
a
a-
degree in economics.
Yeah, I don't really believe in degrees in economics. I don't know how you could that makes any sense to anybody who understands the economy. But anyways, the dude's smart. He understands how things work. The politicians are not held accountable for the policies they pass. When they're implemented, they just sign it off like, look, I passed this. And then they never actually give you how effective it was, how much money was wasted. It's not their money. We pay taxes, they take our money, and then they decide how to spend it, and then they ask for more money because they're like, look at all this crap I did with your money, give me some more of it. That's what a politician is. But he was a businessman who had to give up a lot of his money, had to give up a lot of his properties and stuff, had to give up his position as a CEO of his own company. And you know damn well, ever since he became president, he's lost a lot of business. So much hate for this man. They're like writing graffiti on his hotels. Like, even if you support Trump, like the likelihood that you're going to go to his hotel just lowers, because when you walk into the hotel, everybody's going to be judging you. Oh my God, they're going to his hotel. Fuck that person too. You know, but but that's just like that's it right there. Is the man has accountability for himself, and that showed when he was running president. He didn't try wasting our money. He said, I'm not going to be taking your money. I'm going to lower your taxes because I don't want as much as your money. Government is run inefficiently. They don't need to be taxing you as much, which is why he dropped it.
Well, because again, a business owner knowing all of the taxes and all the
cost effectiveness, like he knows all that stuff. So that's why he looked at everything. He's like, give her this, get her this, get her this. He fired all these people. This was the host of The Apprentice. He fired people left and right. Why do you think we voted for him? We wanted him to fire people. All right, because the worst part about government, because I'm also a veteran, is that certain people, even if they're crappy at their job, because the government set up a certain way, they can keep their job. They get lazy. There's no incentive to try harder. Government workers, no offense, because there's some government workers here. Government workers are not the best kind of workers. All right, some are, but a lot of them aren't. They know the system's going to protect them. They know they can't just get fired willy-nilly, so they take advantage of it. He went in there and ran it like a private enterprise where he could fire whoever he wants because he was president. And people were like, oh, he can't fire people. Why not? That's why we elected him. I want him to fire these guys if they're not doing their job. All right? So it's just kind of it's a dumb argument to say he fired everybody. Like, what if he didn't fire people? He'd be complaining that he keeps keeping these people in office. Like, that's how I look at it. I mean,
well, I think that's what's been going on the whole time, though. It doesn't matter what he did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right.
Anyways,
we've been on here for an hour and 40 pushing. Are you done?
Am I done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I want to wrap it up with this though. Since you kind of hit on,
I'm a little bit. I'll let you go first.
All right, so one of my biggest thing is being prior service, because play on the safe side for right now. So prior service, right? Having a lot of family and military friends. What I think is the media has done to this country and has hurt us, just with the games that they're playing. Trump is in the Middle East signing a peace deal. He got them to sign a peace deal. He's actually getting them to work things out, something no president has ever done, and yet they've never covered it once. he's actually trying to bring troops home, and Joe Biden may stand up there and say, "Hey, and God bless the troops." No. Joe Biden had all those years to bring us home, and they never did. Him and Barack Obama never did.
He was the one handling a lot of the foreign business.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was doing all the foreign business.
Yeah.
He took care of it. We
Poor
get
man in Ukraine.
he mentioned
and in
it.
China.
Yeah.
And you guys, some of you have voted for him. He's going to put us back into that. Don't think that he's not. And Trump has went over there and got these people to kind of lay down their arms and start actually having conversation. And there's no coverage of it. And to me, this is where the media did a disservice to the American people. The mainstream media is there to provide the news. They're there to update the American people on what's going on at that level. And they've not covered it once. They've not mentioned it once. The only reason people are finding out about it is it's because of local and the less
Word of mouth,
popular, word of mouth people.
What we're doing. That's the only way the word gets out.
To me, that is one of my biggest. I think that's the biggest gripe that I have. I don't care if Trump loses, but I just wish the media would have put that out there because I think that would have changed some minds. Because they talk about saving people's lives. War doesn't save lives. War takes lives. It makes money and takes lives. Don't believe me? You can fact check that. War makes money.
About it
Yeah,
too.
it makes money.
Based on real life.
It takes lives, and we're all about saving lives. But there's a few places we won't save lives. Right now, you voted in for a guy. He's not going to save soldiers' lives or airmen or sailors or anybody's lives. He's going to put us right back into where we shouldn't be in to begin with. Ain't nobody saving black baby lives or Latino baby lives or letting abortions, go on. Like
Planned Parenthood endorsed Joe Biden, just so you know.
We're not about saving lives in America. Maybe on your local level, yes, we're trying to, but these politicians and some of these elites, they don't care. You're a pawn on their board. That's it. And right now, we just ended another game, and Joe Biden called checkmate for now.
And pawns always go first.
And I like that. And pawns always go first. And some of you are suckers, and you went first.
You want to come over here?
No, I think she's got good stuff to say.
I asked her earlier, and she's like,
Okay.
That's it for me. I'm done for the night. I'll step out.
All right. I guess I'll finish it up. It's not over. For people that are watching this that have forgotten, there's a recount in Wisconsin. There's a recount in Georgia. There's a lawsuit in Michigan. There's a lawsuit in Pennsylvania. And they even said that starting Monday.
Something in Arizona.
I think they're thinking about doing another lawsuit in Arizona. That one's not official yet, but they're talking about it. And Rudy Giuliani also said there might be a national lawsuit, meaning that they might want to check every state. Because like we were talking earlier, California is known for being blue. But I think that's why no one looks at it. It was called super early in the night. They haven't counted all the votes yet. I have a feeling that even if it wasn't supposed to be red, it was supposed to be a hell of a lot closer than what they're reporting.
Right.
And that would affect the popular vote.
Right.
That would affect a lot of things. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten electoral votes, but he would have got a lot more of the popular vote, which they're trying to give to Joe Biden right now.
And it's still only 66% reporting
Yeah.
in California, and we are 5 days past
5
now?
days later, all of a sudden, it's like, the jokes they're making. All the liberals don't know how to count, which is why they're taking so long. That's just a joke. But I think this is going to go to court. I think this is going to be drawn out, and we won't know who the real president is till a month from now. All right, because if they start the lawsuits on Monday, I know Georgia shot down a lawsuit, but they're just going to appeal and go to the federal courts. And you already know that if it goes to the Supreme Court, they'll probably get a side with the president. Because for people that know, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Clarence Thomas, they're three of the Supreme Court justices. Three of them that when they were being approved, they all got ridiculed. They all got, what do you call it?
But isn't Coney Barrett, didn't she say she might recuse herself from this?
No, she didn't say that. She said she wouldn't.
Yes, she did.
She did. She said that she might actually step back on this, but
she said she might. That's not confirmation.
No, but It's a 50-50 that she.
Yeah, but how are they gonna do it with a split court? 8 votes. It's gonna go down the middle. What are you gonna do at that
I
point?
don't think she will. I think she'll go there.
She will. She will do it. All right. She's doing it now to like just kind of distance herself from it. But when it comes down to it, I guarantee you, she's gonna not recuse herself. She's gonna be the deciding vote, and then there's gonna be sweet, sweet irony that all the same politicians and Democrats that are trying to demonize those justices, now the table's gonna flip. And then they're going to be at the will of the justices. Yeah, and they're not going to forget. If you know anything about what they did to Clarence Thomas, it was actually Joe Biden that led the assault on Clarence Thomas, the first black Supreme Court justice. He's all about equality, right? But he was trying to prevent the first black Supreme Court justice to make it on the court. Yeah, no one forgot about that. At least I didn't forget about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying, this is going to court. It ain't done. That's why I'm gonna keep wearing this until it's official and Joe Biden's being inaugurated. Until that date, he's not president. He's not even a president-elect.
Well, again, the process isn't finished.
Yeah, it's not done. All right, so they're jumping the gun because they know, at least I believe, the reason they're having this big old show right now is to pretty much legitimize their fraud. Because if it does have a recount, and they do have observers, I don't know if you heard this, but Bill Barr, he ordered federal agents to go to those swing states and have federal agents present while they count the vote.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. That got issued, I think, earlier today or yesterday. But if they're going to recount, they're going to have federal agents there present. So we'll see.
Have you done any research on the ballots with watermarks?
Yes, I did. So, okay, this is not confirmed. What I'm about to say, this is not confirmed. But there's a rumor going around that there is a special type of watermark on the official ballots. Right. All right. So there's if there's a lot of fraudulent ballots, they are most likely made outside of the country. Most likely in China. China can like reproduce whatever they want. They can make a bunch of phony ballots. But there's a rumor going around that the Justice Department put a bunch of special watermarks on all the official ballots, which have blockchain technology in it. If you never heard that term, it's a new type of technology where they can track where the ballot's been, and they can verify whether or not it's a real ballot, whether or not it's a fake ballot, whether or not it's been destroyed, where it's been, who touched it. If that is true, they're saying that the military, the National Guard's been deployed to 12 states, for people that don't know. It was on the news, but it was only lightly mentioned, but there's a little blip on the radar. National Guard's deployed. I can't say this in detail, but I have buddies in the Air Force still that have confirmed for me that there's a lot of air traffic going on right now near those swing states, and they think that, I don't know, this isn't confirmed, and maybe I'm just being hopeful, but this might be a giant sting operation where these ballots, you got to think, because President Trump predicted months ago that this is going to be a fraudulent election. He kept repeating it. Bill Barr also repeated, saying it's going to be a fraudulent election. And Bill Barr hasn't said anything in like the past 2 weeks. Maybe he's busy doing this sting operation. I don't know. But we'll find out when court happens. If they come forward with a lot of evidence of voter fraud, don't be surprised. It was probably because they knew it was going to happen. They watermarked all the official ballots. And they'll be able to track which ones are real, which ones are fake, whether or not some ballots were destroyed. We'll go from there. But I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up because I don't know if it's true. But I do know it's
going on. Something possibly may or may not be, but
we'll find out.
That's a buzz.
It's more likely than people realize. So we'll
like a lot of other things that have been come to light this year.
Yeah.
All right. So we are well into almost 2 hours, not well into 2 hours, but almost 2 hours, well into it. We're going to call it here. Thank you so much for everyone who has stuck it out, who's been commenting on the side, sharing our videos. For the future, like this video, share the video, make sure you get the notifications, subscribe to the YouTube, follow, like the Facebook pages too. If you're not sure where they're at, let me know. I'll send you the links for them. And then till next time, we'll probably do this again because I thought this was a cool little table talk.
If this goes to court, best way I'll be back here. We're gonna be commentating on the proceedings.
and I don't know if you noticed, but we all have similar views, but they're not all the same.
Yeah.
So that always makes for a good conversation as well. So thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you soon.